Hello learners, I am Dr. Subodh Kesharwani, working with Indira Gandhi National Open University in School of Management Studies. The topic which I am going to talk today is Introduction to Business. When we go more into the depth of business, we come to know this is something which is quite omnipresent in nature, and when you talk about business, business is a very frequent term used in day-to-day activity. So when we go out and buy anything, it's purely business which talks about that how the things are going to be buy or sell. So it's something which is quite omnipresent, quite frequent in nature. So when we are going to talk on the term called introduction to business, it is something which had been already explained by already known to the learners. And when the topic which is quite known to the learners, it's very challenging for the teacher to talk on that particular term. But anyway, this is part of our BCom CBCS program, which is this BCOC 132 course, which is a first semester course, and under the ambit of business organization management. And we are here to talk on the first unit, the very first unit of this particular block, that talks about introduction to business. So if you go more into the depth of business which I was talking about, it's a very frequent term, and it's not merely a business but a relationship, because the way things are changing in the present scenario, we are moving from the brick and mortar store to electronic store, and technology enabled model is coming up. So their relationship is going to play a very important role, because the supplier is not familiar with the consumers, and consumer is not aware about who could be the suppliers. At the end of the day, the loyalty, the relationship, and how you're going to serve your consumers, that is going to play a very vital role. So this introduction to business is going to talk about the relationship between the employee, employer, and consumers. And it's not like that that there must be a relationship between the supplier and the consumer, the manufacturer and the product user. But in between, a lot of chain is involved. Like the distribution channel is there, the retailers are there, the wholesalers are there. How the chain is going to be integrated, that is all about business. Because when you talk about the business, you have to talk the term in totality, and when you talk about the totality, you have to take care about all the counterparts who are involved in running the business, executing the business. So it's basically the integration, the amalgamation between employer, employee, and consumers. And it's all about the transformation of technology, because when we talk about the technology was something which was in the beginning stage used by the engineers or by the scientists, but right now we have moved one step ahead to that. It's now part and parcel of our life, and how we live and work in the near future, that is something which is quite important. So business in real sense is an optimum use of technology in order to serve customers in totality. Because when you talk about the term called totality, you have to take care about how the business is going to be run. So prior to going into the depth of this business, we have to first go into the genesis of how the business had been originated. If we talk about the Paleolithic age, if we talk about the Neolithic age, or the old age, the Stone Age, where there were no introduction of currency, and there was a commodity which was replaced with the help of commodity, which we usually call the barter system. So from there, this evolution of money had come up, and when there was involvement of money, from there the trading, the commerce is going to be come up. So there was a time when goods was replaced with the help of goods, and there were no introduction of currency. But finally, afterwards, the bullions, the metals comes into picture. So the gold was there, because gold was a standard way of exchange. And afterwards, the metal coins comes into picture, and when this metal coins comes into picture, from there, the introduction of currency comes, and then paper money, then you see in the present scenario the plastic cards, and then electronic money is there, like wallets are there. And in the coming years, you will find out all those things are going to be replaced by the cryptocurrency, or which we usually call Ethereum, Bitcoins, or other things. So there, this philosophy had come up, and when you are moving from barter system to virtual currency or the cryptocurrencies, a lot of technology is going to play a very important role. We have seen that, and the technology is not merely making the other thing redundant, the stereotype approach redundant, but somewhere introducing new philosophy, so that the new kind of trend comes into picture, and new kind of business trends comes into force. So this is about evolution of money, and then evolution of trading is also there. We see the gadgets, how the gadgets are going to play a very important role, and websites example is there, then app example is there, and we have seen that how the application softwares, how these smartphones or the gadgets are somewhat doing this particular job. So anyway, we are going to talk more about the business, and there are certain trends which are change in 2020, and we all know the lockdown stage is there, and COVID-19 was a pandemic, and it had changed the mindset of individual. And as far as the employee is concerned, as far as the consumers are concerned, as far as the employers are concerned, they all have reframed themselves. They have recapitulated themselves with the new philosophy, with the new thought, and this WFH model had come up. So which is one of the model where people are governing the things by sitting at their home. And as far as it's not like doing the office job from their home, but a lot of interactions, a lot of meeting is also going on. So the virtual meet had taken place with the help of this Zoom, with the help of this Google Meet, Microsoft Team, or GoToWeb or something like that. So a lot of other softwares are coming up, and what we observe that rather than doing the things in a brick and mortar mode, in an electronic mode, this technology had somewhat come up in a different way, and the trend is very clear that it is going to combine the technology, the socio-economic trends, and in the end of the day, the intention is very clear that there must be a business growth, because when there could not be a business growth, ultimately the purpose of introducing or implementation of technology is not going to solve. So anyway, what I mean to say that that lot of trend had come up, and there is a great use of artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, blockchain technology, big data analytics, and deep learning is there. And it's not like that the product which are of physical manner can only have the use of technology. We talk about the service industry, we talk about the learning industry, education industry, we talk about the other industries where mentoring or counseling is going to play a very important role. There also the format had been changed, the trend had been changed. So this is where the more use of the robots had come up, the more use of the introduction of technology had come up. So if you see these concepts of business is an art as well as science. And when you talk about the business is the activity of making one's living or making money by producing or buying and selling products such as goods and services. So when you talk about business, we have to see that the format of the business, the style of the business had been changed, and the way business is going on, it's a matter of practical experience, judgment, foresight, and luck. To be successful in business, you must master the basics of business success, because as I have told that to get the success in business, we have to see that what are the genesis behind getting the success as far as the business is concerned, because business is in any organization that provides goods or services to satisfy customers' needs and wants for a profit. So anyway, business offers several benefits to various groups. That is very true, because when group of people involved and working for a common goal, it takes a shape of organization. That organization, the purpose of the organization is to generate profit, because if they are not going to generate profit, ultimately what will happen, that they are not going to meet out their livelihoods there, and ultimately if they are not going to take care about their routine expenditures, they will be in trouble. So the basic intention behind the business is to generate a amount, so that the execution process can go on, the company can perform, and other model can come up. So business operate domestically or internationally. That is very true. There was a time when business was confined to particular jurisdictions, and some business was just focus on the local markets, and now the philosophy had been changed. We have to be more vocal. If we are local, we have to be more vocal, so that the product become globalized and cater the international market. So it's not happened with the the Western worlds, who are the developed countries, but it occurs with the country like India, China, that they can also develop the product, they can also enhance the product so that they can also cater the international market. So what we observe that the companies are coming up with a product which can cater the international market. So several activities or functions in a business such as production, finance and sales, that is very important, because when you are going to run a business, you have to see how you can narrow down the cost of the productions, and how you can take a finance and sales. We have talked a lot in our forthcoming units or in preceding units about the startups, and the biggest challenge about the grassroots entrepreneurs, or the first generation entrepreneurs, is to collect the capital or get the capital, and nobody is going to give you the money in charity. If they found any vision, if they found any knack in the product, in you, then only they can invest. So from there, the philosophy of venture capitalists, or the crowdfunder or angel investors are there. So the business had been changed right now, where you don't have to require a lot of capital to execute a business. If your vision is good, if your philosophy is fine, and you can have a long-term approach, no doubt the venture capitalists can definitely come up. And on the other hand, the different kind of model had come up. If we talk in India, we have seen how the Reliance had developed themselves from underneath to pinnacle. The company who have started from zero with zero capital, by taking a little amount from lot of people. So mass investment is there, where lakh of people have invested 200, 500 rupees, and from there they have faith in the company, and that company had groomed. So this is the way of how the things are going to come up. This is exactly a very good example that from zero this company had come up. And you see, if you talk in top 10 entrepreneurs, I think Reliance Industries is one of the industries which comes under that ambit. So anyway, we are going to talk on certain things today. We are going to talk on the human activities. We are going to talk on business, profession and employment, then business, industry, commerce, and then MSME, this micro, small, medium size enterprise. So this kind of philosophy had come up, and this particular talk which I am going to deliver today is talking on introduction to business, and we have already 2-3 other chapters which are focusing on technological innovation and skill development, social responsibility and ethics, and emerging opportunities in business. So these are the ways by which the things are changing. And when you talk about the foundation of Indian business, it revolves around the 4 chapters. So the learners can have a view of all these chapters in a coming time, where they can get the glimpse about all these chapters, and able to know how the things are interrelated when you're talking about the business, when you're talking about the skill development, or when you talk about the social development and ethics. So this emerging opportunities in business is something which is one step ahead to that, talking more about the technology and other things. Anyway, so if we talk about this unit 1, it covers the scope and sequence of introductory business. And this particular blog will facilitate in generating revenues by producing or buying and selling products. And this unit also focuses on basic aspects of business, including fundamental features and rationale, because that is more important. If you are not going to touch the fundamental aspects, and that is the roots from where the business need to be originated, I think the purpose is not going to be solved. And this also explains how the business differs from profession or the employment, because professionals are the one who are different from the business, from the businessman. It talks about customer satisfaction, ethics, entrepreneurship, global business, and managing change. Managing change is something which is a routine matter, which is a routine matter, and need to be taken care by all the entrepreneurs. Either they are massively invest in their company, or they are the small industries or the big industries, because change is something which always believes that you are going to apply many things. It's not like that you can replace your legacy systems or fire your employees and hire new one. That is not a change. Change can be routine in nature, and it can intermingle in nature. So when you are going to adapt, when you are going to apply new technology or the new contemporary approach, you see how you are going to do that, so that the existing setup is not going to affect by that, or it's not going to become haphazard. Because if you are going to tamper the existing setup, ultimately what will happen, the whole legacy system, the whole the stereotype approach is going to be eliminated, and finally what happened, there is a great chances that your organization could be on deathbeds. So this kind of model need to be done. And when you talk about the human activity always bifurcate into economic activity and non-economic activity. When you talk about the economic activity, as I have told, the genesis of any business is to generate a profit and create a revenue. So if there could not be any revenue, there could not be any financial stability. So if you have a revenue with you, then only you can think about the introduction of new technology, new thoughts, new philosophy. So this economic is bifurcated into employment, profession and business. We will definitely distinguish how these three terms can differ with the help of example, and then business is bifurcated to industry and commerce. So this industry is primary and it could be manufacturing, it could be service industry, and a lot of other industries had come up. If you talk in a present scenario, there was a time when we do our class 12th or do our studies. At that time we have only two professions, that is either we can become engineer or become doctor. But if you see in the present scenario, the philosophy had been changed. We are having ample number of avenues. We can groom our career, excel our career in fashions or in movie making or in constructions or in manufacturing or in service industries also coming up. Consultancy is something which is playing a very important role right now. Mentoring is something which had also come up. So a lot of avenues are coming up. So these are something which are giving new way to the individuals to think of. So home trade, foreign trade, retail trade, wholesale trading is there. Then import export is also coming up. So what we have observed that with the change of time, the model had been changed, and government is also emphasizing more on ease of doing. Like their governance is going to be quite friendly. So you get a lot of facilities while enrolling. So tax exemptions are there if you are a new entity, and this kind of model is there. So for small and medium enterprise, for micro, small and medium enterprise, they have started a certain benefits, and this free trade zones had come up where you are getting a tax holiday periods are there, where for certain period, for certain time, there no tax could be levied by the company. End of the day, what is the model? What is the intention? Intention is that the new startups, new entrepreneurs can come up, so that when people think of creating an enterprise, end of the day they are benefiting a society by and large, because they are not taking care about their bread and butter, but they are taking care about others' bread and butter. So if somebody is working somewhere, or the salaried employees are there, he can only think about getting the salary. But when he has formulated a small enterprise, the intention is very clear. He is going to employ 3, 4, 5, 10 of 20 people. Then when this 20 people are working in that particular organization, now it's a moral duty of the entrepreneurs or the founders to take care about them. So this is one of the way by which they are taking care about their employee livelihood. So they are not taking care about their bread and butter, but taking care about the others' bread and butter. So that is somewhere you are bringing a social change. You are thinking about the social responsibility, and on the other hand, a lot of model had come up. So we will definitely throw a light. And when you talk about the non-economic activity is purely governed by the non-government organizations like NGOs, or where they serve the society by and large voluntarily. So some corporate houses, they have certain responsibilities which we usually call corporate social responsibility. They under that ambit, under that provision, they donate certain amount to the NGOs, and now these NGOs are serving the society by and large, taking care about the deprived, under marginalized, underprivileged. So somewhere they are serving the society. So intention is very clear. Economic model talks about generating the profit. Non-economic model talks about how you are going to serve the society by and large, because if you are going to uplift the society, ultimately somewhere you are serving them. If you are grooming them, if you are mentoring them, if you are navigating them, that they should learn something, they could educate themselves. So end of the day, you are uplifting them, because once they educate, once they are literate, they are skilled, they can very easily, create their own employment. So that kind of model is going to be created by the government, by the people, or by the governance, that they can have this philosophy in mind. So anyway, so when you're going to compare the economic and non-economic activity, it's the basis of difference is purposes, outcomes, measurements, value. So if you see, the one is purely a financial activity, other is purely a non-financial activity, and it can be measured in financial terms, it can be in personal fulfillment terms, and these actions add value to the national income, and these activities do not add value to the national income, but as I have talked about, somewhere lift the society. Because there is a very famous quotation which says that that if you have a vision of 1 year, you can do the farming. If you have vision of 20 years or 30 years, you can plant a tree. And if you have vision of 100 years, you can educate people, because the moment you educate people, you can change the vision, you can revamp the whole society by and large. And the society where the people are not in a position to meet out their livelihood, and you are providing them education. So government is also working in this direction. They have a philosophy called midday meal, Anganwadi, or some, and new. It's not like that voluntarily organization is doing that. Somewhere the government is also promoting lot of programs which can uplift the society by and large. And as far as certain institutions are concerned, some institutions are also doing a marvelous job in this direction. If you talk about the Indira Gandhi National Open University, this is the only university in India which have started talking about the underprivileged, marginalized from the inception, from the day this organization had been originated in, and the programs which are quite modular in nature, quite reaching to the unreached, and it's quite cheap also, as far as the course is concerned, as far as the cost is concerned. So, and a lot of flexibility is also there, so you can choose the program anytime, you can take exit, and then you can again enroll. So as far as the age barrier is concerned, they have also given the flexibility in that. So what I mean to say is that organization need to develop a model, organization need to develop a philosophy, that how they are going to serve the society. It's and when any organization generating amount, no doubt when they are into the economic activity, their intention is very clear that they are going to generate profit. But somewhere on the other hand, they have to have in their mind, back of their mind, that how they are going to serve the society by and large. So keeping in mind all these, the corporate social responsibility model had come up. We have seen there are certain organizations we are doing massively in this direction. Tatas are, if you talk about, they are the corporates, and they have come up with a lot of charitable programs. They are funding a lot of agencies. End of the day, what is the intention? Intention is very clear, to groom the society. It's not like that we can think about eliminating the poor. We can think of how we can eliminate the poverty. That is more important. And if we are going to do that, ultimately society is going to be benefited, because what we observe that education is going to play a very important role. So when you are talking about the business, you talk about the grooming the people. It's not like that. And the employee in the organization also, a lot of training program is going to be developed by the organization, so that in-house training can somewhat enhance the performance of the employee. So while earning, they can also learning. So this kind of model is there, where a lot of learning is going on. And what we observe, that if we compare this business, profession and employment, we know that business refers to purchase or production. Profession includes activity which require special knowledge and skills in the occupation. And employment refers to the occupation in which people work for others and get remuneration in return. So this is basically a difference. And what we observe, that people start with employment, work as an employee, and after a certain time, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, when they become expert in particular domain, they switch over from that, and they create their own entity. From there, they create their own organizations, and establish their own manufacturing goods, and establishing their own manufacturing units, and then producing a goods. So this kind of model had come up. Professionals are medical professionals, lawyer, and chartered accountants. And So their intention is very clear. They consider to be the white collar from the day one, and somewhere they can also do a lot of things. So the profession is also changing with the change of time. If you talk about the legal professions, this profession is also have a great challenge right now. If you talk about the Western world, there is a software called Watson which is created by IBM, and in US or in other part of the world, this software is quite legal in nature, and it is giving a lot of threat to the lawyers, because you put the details, you put your query into it, and you get the reference, you get the particular detail about that how what could be the solutions to the particular law. So what I mean to say, and same happens with the medical industry, where technology is going to play a very important role. What doctors are thinking about, technology is going to correlate all those things and give you the results. In some instance, what you observe, that this philosophy is quite better than what the doctor used to give in a physical manner. So this is the change of time. This is a trend which is going to be changed. And if the society, if the people, if the individuals are not going to update themselves, they will be in trouble. And that happens with other things. So technology is no doubt going to play a very important role. And when you talk about the business objectives, it's bifurcated into economic objectives and social objectives. And economic objectives are, intention is to earn profit, then innovation, optimum utilization of resources. We have a dedicated unit which talks about technological innovation and other things. So in that innovation, you will find out how the invention and creativity convert into innovation, and how the corporates are inclined towards the innovation. So this is somewhere, because when you are innovative, when you are having contemporary thought in your mind, end of the day, what is going on, you are going to do a lot of things, and you can get a niche as far as your rivals are concerned, and that is where technology is going to play a very important role. We have taken example of a commerce and e-commerce industry. The e-commerce industry are changing themselves in a very systematic manner, and there is more use of technology, or rather we can say there is a great use of technology. And those who are using the technology, those who are using the AI model, those who are using the nanotechnology, or the big data analytics, or the blockchain technology, they are somewhere creating a niche and competing very fastly with their business rivals, and somewhere they are making other industry redundant. And that is the reason the shelf life of the company is now narrowed down from 60 years, 30 years to 10 years or 5 years. And there are some good examples, there are some bad examples. We have seen the companies who have started their journey from zero, and right now doing quite well, and they are the flagship companies. And if you talk about the $1 trillion club, where only 3-4 companies have just knocked the doors, like Apple is there, or the Google is there, or Microsoft is there, and in the area of operating system, we have also observed that how the operating system philosophy had been changed. We were depend on this operating systems, and now this operating system philosophy had changed. In mobile also, the operating system is going to play a very important role. The new version is coming up. If you talk about the Android, it started with the name of the Cadbury's, like or other things, and a lot of versions had come up. Oreo is the latest version, then Nougat is there. So what exactly the philosophy is? Philosophy is that people want certain things, certain the latest things into it. That force the organization to come up with a new product and new update versions. So it's happened with the softwares, with the hardwares, with all the business tools. Social objective is quality goods and service at fair price, generation of employment, employee welfare, and community service is there. And this in pandemic stage, we have seen that how the community had served the society by and large. The gurudwaras have applied the technology, their workforce, and serve the people during that time, feed the people during that lockdown period, and along with the government. So governments they are fulfilling their duty, and on the other hand, what you observe that these charitable organizations have also served their duty in a more systematic manner. And some gurudwaras have feed the people, feed the lakh peoples in a day. So this kind of model had come up where serving the society by and large is going on, and this is called the social objectives. So When you talk about the business plan, it's market research, business model, marketing plan, long-term goals, term building, and development strategy is there. So what we have observed that this personal resources trend analysis is something which is there. And when you talk about the classification of business activities, this classification of business activities is bifurcated into industry and commerce. And industry always deals with the production of goods and services, and commerce deal with distribution of goods and services. And there are primary industries, there are secondary industries, and there are tertiary industries. And when you talk about the trading model, the trading pedagogy had been changed. There was a time when there was a wholesaler, retailer, or small distributors, then other things, and then product delivered to the consumers. A lot of chain are in between. And right now, what happened? The goods are directly coming from the manufacturer's warehouse to the doorstep of the consumers. So this wholesale trade is there, the retail trade is there, is going to be changed with the change of time, and import-export philosophy is also going to be changed. So Make in India model had come up. We have already talked about in our that particular unit where Make in India, how the Make in India differs from Made in India. And this is going to more vocal to local. So transportation, trade, banking and finance, insurance, warehousing and advertising is there. Now there are major reasons why business fail. There are 7 key areas of activity that determine whether your business will live or die. Because when you talk about the marketing, your ability to determine and sell the right products to the right customer at the right time, and your ability to acquire the money you need and account for the money, that is a finance. And when you talk about the production, produce products and services at a high enough level of quality and consistency over time. Because if you are going to devote more time in producing the goods, more cost is going to be involved. And then distribution, which I have talked about, how you are going to timely distribute the things. This is where supply chain management or logistics is going to play a very important role. We have seen that if you talk about the foods, the fast food delivery, we have seen that there are certain apps which are delivering the foods like Swiggy, Zomato, Food Panda, and these apps are not depends on the stereotype restaurant, but somebody have developed the mega kitchens, and from that mega kitchens which is foolproof in nature, take care about the hygiene and other issues, and then from there they deliver the product. So the product passes through a lot of quality checks and then goes to the consumers, and consumers are sitting at their home get the product. So the product is going to be delivered in a very short span, in a particular time frame, in a 1 hour, 2 hour, and it's quite hygienic also. So this is something where this kind of model had come up, and labor is also going to play a very important role, and labor migrants issue were there, and we have seen that during that lockdown period how this hue and cry situation had come up, and this is the reason how the business faced. The economy, which was in a pandemic stage, was having a lot of problems, are right now getting a challenge to come out from the labor migrants. So this kind of model is applicable, and finding the people you need, deal with the unions, that is more important. And what we observe that this is the thing which is there. And identifiable reasons for business success is developing effective communication among the staff, and open door policy is there, generating a strong momentum, and making concern for the customers, and how you're going to take care about your employee, that also matters. If you talk about some good examples like Google, that how they take care about their employees, providing full flexibility to them, that there is no restrictions of as far as the time is concerned, you just complete the task which had been assigned to you, and on the other hand you just take care about other things. So when you talk about the commerce, it's bifurcated into trade, then aids to trade we have already talked about, and MSME is something which is a creation of micro, small and medium sized enterprise, and Government of India is doing a lot of work in this direction. They are giving a lot of subsidies. They are boosting the morale of the first generation entrepreneurs, feed them of certain amounts which could be interest free in nature, like 3 lakh rupees is right now given to them to establish their own organization, to groom their small and medium sized enterprise, small industries. and which is interest free in nature. Within 6 months you don't have to pay any amount. So there are certain benefits of MSME like cheaper bank loan and low cost ISO certification, preference for approval of government license of certifications, and 50% subsidy in patents and trademarks. That is something, and reduced interest rate which I was talking of, and there is concession in the electricity bill, tax holiday benefits are there, tax-free zones had been created where if you establish your organization that particular domain or particular jurisdictions, you get a lot of tax benefit. So new look, as if you talk about the micro, small and medium, as far as the manufacturing is concerned, the capping is up to 25 lakhs and services up to 10 lakhs. For small, 25 lakhs to 5 crore, and if you talk about services, it's 10 lakh to 2 crores. And if you talk about the medium, it's 5 crores to 10 crores, and services for 2 crores to 5 crores. And there are certain things which is manufacturing. If you talk about, talks about the plant and machinery, services, investment in equipment, and other things. So now the $1 million question is, which business is the best future? I think there is a time when we are quite rigid in nature. We are just focusing on 2-3 kinds of business which are very stereotyped. But ample number of avenues is there. The technology had come up, and you find out n number of businesses coming up. People are creating a lot of business, and when this e-commerce industry had come up, it had given boost to logistic industries, and there is a huge demand of supply chain management in logistic industries, and also, and what we observed that this business had come up, it's created huge number of employment to the locals, to the individuals. So anyway, what I mean to say that this business is something which is very contemporary. It changes with the change of time, and you find out that today's business is somewhat different from the tomorrow's business. And if you are restrict yourself, if you are rigid to the stereotype business approach, I think the time will come when your organization will be on deathbed. So when you talk about the business, you have to talk about how you're going to change yourself, how you're going to introduce about new technologies so that new model can come up and it can provide certain things. This computer application business, when you talk about this business organization management, the particular course which is of first semester course, it's a quite good course for the commerce student, because it's not going to give them a glimpse about business, but talking about how you are going to organize your business and how you're going to manage your business. So there are certain units, there are certain chapters which dedicatedly or exclusively talk about that how you're going to run your business, and it's not running about the business, how you're going to involve into the business, because and more emphasis is given on creating a business, because if you are going to create a business, you are not going to take care about bread and butter, but others' bread and butter. I think it's all about today's thing, and we will definitely throw a light on other aspects and other units which are linked with that. And once you go through the particular course structure or the text material which is available on our eGyan course, you will find out a lot of more is going to be read if you go through that. Thank you very much. Thank you.